Hello, I'm Brigantia, Blackbird of Blackbird's Brew. Happy Monday. Let's continue with our Celtic Triads. This week we're going to be looking at three things very like the other. These triads were compiled by John F. Wright in 1995. So, let's see what it says. There are three things very like the other. An old blind horse playing the harp with his hooves, a pig in a silk dress, and a merciless person prating about piety. So this triad has some comical imagery for us to consider. First, we have an old blind horse playing the harp with his hooves. The first time I read that, it took me a few minutes to recover because I could just picture it in my head and the full glory of its ridiculousness. It would be cartoon-worthy silliness. We have this poor horse, probably, leaned back on his haunches, blind as a bat, trying to play an instrument as delicate as the harp with his hooves that lack the needed dexterity of fingers. Not a desirable position, not a good position for that poor horse to be in. And of course, that is the point of this part of the triad. Not only would it be an impossibility for such a thing to happen, but even if it could be managed, there would be no point to it, and the poor horse would never be properly equipped for the task. Next, we have our pig in a silk dress. Now, it doesn't matter how a pig is presented to the world, it is and always will be a pig. No amount of disguise, regardless of how elegant, is going to change the reality of that pig. Dressing up the pig isn't going to fool anyone. The pig will continue to act in accordance with its nature. And even if you successfully bullied people into saying that the pig was different or had somehow transformed by virtue of its costume, no one would actually be believing it. They would only be humoring you. And if we have illusions about ourselves or someone, and worse, that someone who knows better is willing to participate in our illusions about ourselves, we should be on guard. First, because we are blinding ourselves and we're not allowing ourselves to see the reality of what's going on. And second, because the person who's accommodating our illusions is clearly untrustworthy and definitely doesn't have our good best interest in heart. And we could never rely upon their judgment because they have decided to go along with our nonsense when they shouldn't have. Now, finally, we have a merciless person prating about piety. Now, is there anything quite so tiresome as someone of bad character telling the world what a good person they are? Politicians do this all the time, and it gets on my last nerve. Their actions reveal the lie of their words, and I cannot be bothered to humor it. Now, the use of the word piety is interesting in this triad. Ordinarily, I tend to think of piety in terms of religious reverence. However, the definition also involves having the idea of being faithful to something that we are bound to by oath or by duty, perhaps both. And Merriam-Webster and thefreedictionary.com gives examples such as marital fidelity, profound devotion to your parents, or allegiance to your country. Now, this suggests that a cruel person, this merciless person, is incapable of loyalty, perhaps even so heartless as to render them incapable of love. Love of a person, love of a thing, love of an idea. They're not in a position to be lecturing about piety or faithfulness or loyalty in any sense of the term. Now, there are a myriad of applications that this triad could be applied to in our present-day world. But rather than rant about the examples that have come to my mind, I'm curious to see in the comments or on the Discord server what you think. So please, by all means, share your thoughts. I would love to hear them. If you're not already a part of the Discord server Blackbird's Brew, there is a link to join in the description box below. And of course, as always, please subscribe to this channel, like the video, leave a comment, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.